There comes a time in every person's life when the noise of doubt becomes louder than the whispers of faith. You will feel it when you begin to dream beyond the boundaries that others have accepted. You will feel it when you decide to rise while everyone around you has chosen to settle. The world may not see what you see. They will not understand what drives you. They will question your vision because it does not fit inside their comfort. They will measure your potential through the lens of their own fears, and when they cannot see themselves doing what you dream of doing, they will tell you that you cannot do it either. But you must remember this truth. You do not need the world to believe in you. You need only to believe in yourself with a conviction so powerful that their doubt becomes meaningless. The world does not reward those who wait for permission. It rewards those who act with purpose even when no one watches. Every great life begins with disbelief. Disbelief from others, disbelief from society, sometimes even disbelief from yourself. But within that disbelief is your opportunity. Because when no one believes in you, when you have no applause, no validation, and no hand to hold, you are left with only one option: to rely entirely on the strength that lies within you. That is where greatness is born. Not in comfort, not in praise, but in the lonely fire of persistence. There will be nights when you question everything. Nights when your effort feels invisible, when your heart aches from carrying dreams too heavy to bear alone. You will wonder if all this pain is worth it, if maybe the doubters were right. You will look around and see no one beside you. And in that moment, you will be tempted to give in, to slow down, to surrender your dream for the illusion of peace. But peace bought by surrender is only regret in disguise. The world will not stop you from quitting. It will encourage you to, because your persistence reminds them of their passivity. Your courage confronts their complacency. So do not expect support. Earn respect. Do not wait for belief, build proof. When no one believes in you, it is not a punishment. It is a sacred gift. Because belief from others can comfort you, but belief in yourself can carry you. The world's faith can lift you for a moment, but your own faith will carry you through a lifetime. You must learn to walk through the dark without needing a light from anyone else. You must learn to speak words of strength to your soul when silence surrounds you. You must become your own source of power, because when that power is born within, no external force can destroy it. Think of every great soul that ever lived. The inventors, the leaders, the thinkers, the dreamers. Before their names were written in history, they were ridiculed, doubted, dismissed. They were told their ideas were impossible, their goals foolish, their ambitions too high. Yet they kept moving forward, not because the world believed in them, but because they believed so completely in their vision that no amount of doubt could extinguish it. They lived not for the applause, but for the mission. They rose not because they were supported, but because they were certain. That same strength exists within you. The moment you choose to believe in yourself completely, the world begins to shift. Not because it changes, but because you do. Doubt from others will no longer sting. Failure will no longer break you. You will begin to see obstacles as opportunities to prove your strength. You will stop craving approval because you will understand that your path is yours alone. You will realize that being misunderstood is not a sign that you are wrong, but that you are walking where few have dared to walk. That loneliness you feel will become your teacher. It will show you who you are without the masks, without the validation, without the noise. Belief is a discipline, not an emotion. It is the daily decision to stand by your vision even when it's invisible. Every day you persist, you carve that belief deeper into your soul. And one day that belief will turn into a force so powerful that no one can deny it. But you must first endure the seasons of solitude, the days when it feels like no progress is being made, the moments when you work in silence with nothing but faith to hold on to. Those moments are not wasted, they are sacred. They are building the foundation of your unshakable character. When the world doubts you, let that doubt fuel you. Let their disbelief become the fire that drives you forward. Do not fight to prove them wrong, rise to prove yourself right. Every time they say you can't, you have the chance to show that you can. Every time they look away, you have the space to grow without judgment. Do not despise the seasons of isolation, for they are the seasons where greatness is forged. The diamond is formed in pressure, the warrior is trained in silence, and the believer is strengthened in loneliness. Your path will not be easy, but it will be yours. And when the day comes that your dream begins to bloom, when the very people who once doubted you begin to admire you, you will not feel anger, you will feel gratitude. Because without their doubt, You may have never discovered the depth of your own power. Without their disbelief, you might have never learned how to stand alone. You will understand that every rejection, every moment of loneliness, every quiet tear was part of your awakening. Belief is not something you wait for, it is something you build. It grows each time you choose to keep moving despite the odds. It strengthens each time you trust your inner voice more than the opinions around you. When no one believes in you, that is your signal to begin believing in yourself even more. Because when your belief becomes unshakable, when your faith in your own vision becomes absolute, nothing in this world can stop you. You were not born to be understood immediately, you were born to be remembered eventually. So rise, even if you must rise alone. Because one day, the same people who doubted your journey will call it destiny, but you will know it was never destiny. It was you, believing when no one else did. There will come a moment when you look around and realize that you are standing alone. The people you thought would walk with you will turn away. The support you expected will not arrive. You will find yourself surrounded not by encouragement but by silence. And in that silence, you will hear the faint sound of your own heartbeat reminding you that you are still here, still breathing, still capable. The strength you need will not come from the world. It will come from within. When no one stands beside you, the strength within you must rise to meet you. That is the moment when your soul begins to awaken, when the fire inside you starts to burn brighter than the doubt around you. Loneliness is not the enemy. It is the birthplace of transformation. The world teaches you to fear being alone, to see solitude as weakness. But solitude is the forge where the strongest spirits are shaped. It is in those moments of isolation that you finally meet yourself, not the version shaped by others' expectations, not the image you show to gain approval, but the real, raw, unfiltered you. That version of yourself is powerful beyond measure. It is the version that hears the quiet voice of truth beneath the noise. But to hear it, you must be willing to endure the silence. You must stop running from your own company and start embracing it. When no one believes in you, you have a choice. You can collapse under the weight of loneliness, or you can rise from it stronger than ever before. Every person who has ever accomplished something great has faced this exact moment. The moment when the world turned its back, when the laughter echoed louder than the applause, when doubt became the only voice in the room. But they did not break. They used that very moment to discover the strength that had been sleeping within them. They realized that the human spirit does not grow through comfort. It grows through challenge, through solitude, through the fire of rejection. Do not mistake loneliness for emptiness. Loneliness is space. Space for growth, space for self-discovery, space to hear the whisper of destiny calling your name. When everyone else leaves, it is because their purpose in your story has ended. But yours has just begun. You are not meant to walk every step with company. The highest mountains are always climbed in silence. There are paths that only the brave walk alone. And though it hurts, though it burns, that journey will give you a strength that no companionship could ever provide. In solitude, you learn what truly matters. You begin to separate what is real from what is noise. You stop chasing validation because you realize that the world's approval is fleeting, but your inner peace is eternal. When you no longer have a crowd to impress, you begin to act from purpose instead of pressure. You learn that your worth was never in the hands of others. It was always in your heart. You start to see that being alone does not mean being abandoned. It means being chosen by life to grow. There is a quiet power in the person who walks alone with conviction. You no longer need to announce your strength. It speaks through your consistency. You no longer seek sympathy. You build resilience. You stop asking for understanding because you understand yourself. The loneliness that once felt unbearable transforms into independence, into freedom. You stop depending on others to believe in your dreams, and instead, you begin to believe in them so fiercely that the universe itself starts to move with you. You will face moments when the silence feels heavy, when doubt creeps in like a shadow. You will wonder if anyone will ever understand what you carry inside. But remember this, the ones who rise alone are the ones who lead others later. The ones who endure solitude become the ones who light the way for those who come after. Your loneliness is not permanent, it is preparation. You are being taught how to walk without needing to lean on anyone else, so that when the time comes to lead, you can stand tall without fear. When you walk alone, you learn to listen differently. You start to hear the rhythm of your own steps, the strength in your own heartbeat. You learn to trust your intuition, to follow that inner voice that guides you when logic fails. You discover that you don't need permission to move, to start, to try, to become. The power you seek outside is already inside you, waiting, watching, ready to rise the moment you decide that your belief matters more than their approval. Every person who ever doubted you gave you a gift. Their disbelief forced you to believe harder. Their silence forced you to speak to your own soul. Their absence forced you to stand taller. The loneliness that once broke you now becomes your armor. It teaches you that you can survive without applause, that you can persist without praise. It shows you that strength is not loud, it is steady. It does not shout to be seen, it simply endures. There will be times when you will feel invisible, when your work goes unnoticed, your efforts unseen. In those moments, remember that seeds grow in darkness before they ever see the sun. You are being planted, not buried. You are growing roots that will hold you firm when the winds of life come. Those roots born from pain, silence, and solitude will make you unshakable. One day, you will rise, and the same people who once turned away will look up in awe. But by then, you will no longer need their validation. You will already know who you are. So when you find yourself walking alone, do not despair. Know that you are in the company of every soul who ever dared to dream in a world that doubted them. You are walking the same lonely road that all great spirits have walked before you. You are learning to rely on a strength that will never leave you. You are learning that the most important relationship you will ever have is with yourself. When no one stands beside you, the strength within you must rise to meet you. Let that truth settle deep into your heart. Because once you find that strength, once you realize that you can rise alone, you become unstoppable. You become free. And the world that once doubted you will eventually look at you not with disbelief, but with wonder, wondering how you rose when no one believed you could. But you will know the answer. You did it not because of them, but in spite of them. You rose because when no one stood beside you, you finally stood for yourself. There is a moment in life when you will realize that waiting for others to believe in you is the same as waiting for the world to hand you permission to live. That moment will hit you hard, usually when you've been chasing validation for so long that it's left you exhausted. You will look for encouragement and find silence. You will look for understanding and meet misunderstanding. But somewhere in that silence, a deeper truth will whisper to you that the belief you seek from others can only ever begin within you. Until you decide to believe in yourself, no one else truly can, because the world does not see you as you are, it sees you as you see yourself. If you see limitation, it will too. But if you see power, purpose, and resilience, then the world will slowly reflect it back. Belief in oneself is not a gift given at birth, it is a decision made every day. It is a fire that must be fed even when there is no warmth left. It is not built in the moments when everything is easy and everyone applauds. It is built in the moments when you fail, when you fall, when you are left questioning your worth. Those are the moments that test the strength of your spirit. Those are the moments that separate those who dream from those who do. Because it is easy to move when the path is clear, but it takes courage to move when the path is dark. True belief begins when doubt surrounds you, and you still take another step forward. Most people spend their lives waiting for someone to recognize their potential, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for encouragement. But belief is not found in waiting, it is found in working. You must act like the person you wish to become long before anyone else sees that person in you. You must be your own proof. The world cannot believe in you until you give it something undeniable to believe in. And that comes from consistency, from showing up every day, from pushing forward when no one is watching. Each time you act in faith, even when afraid, you are teaching your mind that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are strong. Self-belief is not arrogance, it is awareness. It is understanding that you were created with something unique, something irreplaceable, something the world needs, even if it does not yet know it. It is trusting that your purpose was not given to you by accident. When you doubt your ability, you are not just questioning yourself, you are questioning the intelligence of the very force that made you. You were not placed here to imitate others. You were placed here to bring something only you can bring. That is why no one else can see your vision as clearly as you do. It was shown to you, not them. And because it was shown to you, it is your responsibility to believe in it. There will be times when your belief will waver, times when your failures will speak louder than your faith. You will question whether your dream is worth it. You will look around and see others moving faster, getting ahead, receiving applause while you are still struggling. But remember, belief does not bloom overnight. It is like a seed planted deep in the soil. It requires darkness before it can reach the light. It requires patience, persistence, and nurturing. Every failure, every setback, every quiet effort that goes unseen is watering that seed. One day, that seed will break through the surface, and the world will call it success. But you will know it was always belief that made it possible. Many people misunderstand belief. They think it means being certain that they will succeed. But real belief is not about certainty. It is about commitment. It is choosing to keep going even when you are uncertain. It is standing tall even when your knees are shaking. It is saying, "I will try again," after every fall. Belief is not blind optimism. It is disciplined persistence. It is knowing that every step forward, no matter how small, moves you closer to your purpose. You do not have to know how you will win. You only have to know that you will not quit. There will be voices, inside and outside, that tell you you're not enough. They will remind you of your failures, your flaws, your limits. Those voices will be loud, but the voice of belief, though quiet, is stronger. You must learn to turn down the noise of doubt and tune into that inner voice that says, "Keep going." It may whisper, but it never lies. The voice of belief is what pulls you out of bed on the hard days. It is what keeps you working when no one is clapping. It is what gives you peace in the storm and purpose in the pain. When you nurture that voice, it grows, and soon it becomes the only one that matters. Every person who has ever done something meaningful has walked through the valley of disbelief. They have faced rejection, failure, and ridicule. Yet they pressed on because they carried something stronger than the world's doubt. They carried belief. That belief guided them when logic failed, sustained them when strength faltered, and lifted them when everything else fell apart. You must carry that same belief. You must hold it close when no one else can see your worth. Because belief is not something you get from the world, it is something you give to it through your persistence, your discipline, and your refusal to quit. So when the day comes that no one stands with you, when the support disappears, when your efforts seem invisible, stand anyway. When you are tired, keep moving anyway. When you are doubted, believe anyway. You will find that the world begins to respond differently to you the moment you stop begging for belief and start embodying it. Because belief, when it becomes a part of who you are, has power beyond measure. It can turn obstacles into lessons, rejection into direction, and loneliness into strength. Do not wait for anyone to hand you faith. Do not wait for proof that you can. Believe first, act on that belief. Build your life upon it, and the world will have no choice but to follow. Because the moment you truly believe in yourself, you stop needing anyone else to. And when that happens, you become unstoppable, not because the world finally saw your light, but because you finally decided to stop dimming it. There is a quiet power in patience, a strength that only those who learn to wait with purpose can ever truly understand. In this world of speed, noise, and instant gratification, patience feels like weakness. But it is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is the art of trusting the process even when you cannot see the result. It is the courage to keep going when the results do not come as quickly as you hoped. Most people give up, not because they cannot reach their goal, but because they cannot wait long enough to see it unfold. Patience is not about sitting still, it is about standing firm. It is about understanding that growth takes time, that every step, no matter how small, is moving you closer to where you are meant to be. There will be moments in your journey when you feel invisible. You will put in the effort, the time, the sweat, and yet nothing seems to change. The world will look at you and see nothing. You will look at yourself and wonder if you're wasting your life. You will question the meaning of your persistence. But patience whispers a truth that few can hear, that what you are building is not for today, but for tomorrow. The roots of a tree grow deep before its branches ever reach the sky. The seed that lies buried beneath the soil must endure the darkness before it can bloom in the light. So too must your dreams endure the silence before they come alive. Impatience is the voice of fear. It tells you that if it hasn't happened yet, it never will. It feeds your doubt, it weakens your resolve, and it convinces you to trade long-term growth for short-term comfort. But patience is the voice of faith. It tells you that even when nothing seems to be happening, everything is. It reminds you that timing is not punishment, it is preparation. You are being shaped in the waiting, your character, your discipline, your strength. Life does not hand greatness to those who rush. It reveals greatness to those who prepare in silence, who keep building when no one is watching, who trust that every effort has a purpose. There is a reason why the strongest people are often the quietest. They are not quiet because they are unsure. They are quiet because they have learned to trust the timing of their lives. They do not need to announce their progress because they know their actions will speak when the time is right. You will never find peace chasing instant rewards because true fulfillment cannot be rushed. It is earned through consistency, through faith, through patience. Every step you take is a seed being planted. It may take months or years before that seed bears fruit, but when it does, it will feed generations. That is the power of patience. It creates things that last. When you are patient, you stop fighting the flow of life. You stop trying to force things to happen on your timeline and start trusting that what is meant for you will arrive when you are ready to receive it. Because the truth is, if you are given something before you are prepared for it, you will lose it. Success without maturity destroys more dreams than failure ever could. Patience teaches you to become the kind of person who can handle the blessings you are praying for. It teaches you how to stay calm in chaos, how to endure rejection without losing hope, how to keep your focus when distractions surround you. It builds strength in silence and clarity in confusion. There will be times when waiting feels unbearable. You will want to give up, to walk away, to start something new just to escape the stillness. But running from the waiting is running from the lesson. Every great achievement you admire was born in patience. Every strong soul you respect was once in a season of waiting. The difference between those who succeed and those who stop is not talent, not luck, but the ability to keep believing through the delay. You may not see it yet, but everything you are enduring is serving a purpose. Life delays nothing that is meant for you. It simply prepares you for the moment you are ready to hold it. Patience does not mean inaction. It means persistence without panic. It means you keep showing up even when you are tired, even when the results are invisible, even when the doubts are loud. It means you keep watering the seed even when it looks like nothing is growing. Because one day, when you least expect it, the roots will break through the soil and everything you have been working toward will begin to reveal itself. Those who quit will call it luck, but you will know it was never luck. It was patience. To cultivate patience, you must first learn to silence comparison. Looking at others will only make your journey heavier. Their timeline is not yours. Their success has nothing to do with your delay. You are not late, you are becoming. You are not behind, you are being prepared. Every person has a season, and every season has a purpose. The winter may look barren, but it is where the roots grow deepest. The waiting may feel empty, but it is where faith is built strongest. Do not rush the process that is shaping your destiny. When you begin to master patience, you also master peace. You stop feeling desperate. You stop chasing what is not ready for you. You learn to enjoy the process, to find meaning in the journey, to celebrate the small steps. You begin to trust yourself, to trust life, and to trust the unseen hand that guides you. You realize that your dream is not being denied, it is being designed. And when it finally arrives, you will look back and understand why it took so long. You will see that every delay had a purpose, that every moment of waiting was teaching you something your soul needed to learn. Patience is not just about waiting, it is about becoming. It is not about enduring the time, it is about using the time. It is learning to stand firm, to stay faithful, to keep your fire burning even when the night feels endless. The world may rush, but you do not have to. You are not running out of time, you are ripening into it. Your life is unfolding in perfect rhythm, not a second too soon, not a second too late. All you must do is keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing that your time will come, because it will. And when it does, you will understand that patience was never a delay, it was your transformation. Discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-respect. It is the decision to act according to your purpose rather than your mood. It is the ability to say no to the distractions that promise comfort but steal progress. The truth that many people never accept is that discipline is freedom. Not the kind of freedom that comes from doing what you want, but the freedom that comes from building a life that no longer controls you. The world belongs to those who master themselves, because until you learn to control your impulses, your emotions, and your habits, you will always be controlled by them. Every successful person you admire has one thing in common. They built their lives on discipline long before they saw any results. There will always be a moment in your day when comfort calls louder than your goals. It will come in the early morning when the alarm rings and your body pleads for more sleep. It will come when you face a task that feels too hard, too repetitive, too boring. It will come when you feel discouraged and tell yourself that skipping one day will not matter. That moment, that tiny, invisible choice, is where your future is decided. Discipline is not built in grand gestures, it is built in the quiet moments of decision, the ones no one sees. It is built when you choose to get up instead of lying down, to continue instead of quit, to focus instead of escape. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about direction. It is about proving to yourself day by day that you are stronger than your excuses. Most people believe motivation creates discipline, but it is the opposite. Discipline creates motivation. Motivation fades, it is a spark, not a fire. It burns bright for a moment and disappears when things get difficult. Discipline is the fire you build yourself. It burns through the storms because it is fueled by commitment, not emotion. You do not need to feel inspired to act. You need to act until inspiration returns. The secret of greatness lies not in the moments when you feel unstoppable, but in the moments when you feel like giving up and choose to continue anyway. That is when your character is built. That is when your identity is forged. The mind resists discipline because it fears discomfort. It seeks ease, it craves reward, it runs from pain. But growth lives on the other side of that discomfort. Every time you do something difficult, every time you push past resistance, you are rewiring your brain to become stronger, sharper, more capable. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts a lifetime. The mind will whisper, "You can rest now," when it knows you still have work to do. It will tell you, "You deserve a break," when what you truly deserve is progress. You must learn to recognize the difference between rest that restores you and rest that robs you. Discipline teaches you that the small sacrifices of today create the greatness of tomorrow. The beauty of discipline is that it compounds. Every act of self-control, every day of consistency, every moment of resistance adds up. At first, the change feels invisible. You will not see it in the mirror, you will not hear it in praise, but you will feel it deep within. A quiet confidence begins to form, the confidence that comes from keeping promises to yourself. You begin to trust your own word. You begin to realize that you are not a prisoner to your feelings, but their master. And that realization changes everything. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop depending on others to keep you accountable. You take full ownership of your life, and that is where true power begins. There is a peace that only the disciplined know. It is the peace that comes from living in alignment with your goals. It is the peace of knowing that you are doing what needs to be done, even when no one is watching. The undisciplined chase comfort and find chaos. The disciplined embrace discomfort and find peace. Because when your actions are guided by purpose, not emotion, your life becomes steady. You stop being tossed around by every mood, every temptation, every distraction. You gain control over your time, your habits, and your destiny. And that control gives you a sense of calm that no external pleasure can match. Discipline also teaches you humility. It teaches you that progress is not about being perfect, but about being persistent. You will fail, you will stumble, you will fall short. But discipline teaches you to rise without hesitation. It teaches you to see failure not as a signal to stop, but as a lesson to learn. Every failure refines you. Every setback strengthens you. The disciplined do not escape failure. They endure it better. They know that every act of persistence, no matter how small, is an act of faith in themselves, and faith in yourself is the foundation of every great achievement. The world often praises talent, but it is discipline that sustains greatness. Talent can make you noticed, but discipline makes you remembered. It does not matter how gifted you are if you do not have the strength to show up day after day when the excitement fades. The ones who rise are not always the most talented, but they are always the most disciplined. They are the ones who keep walking when others stop, who keep believing when others doubt, who keep working long after others have rested. That kind of discipline does not come from the mind, it comes from the heart. It is born out of a deep sense of purpose, a fire that cannot be extinguished by comfort, doubt, or delay. Discipline is not the enemy of joy, it is the creator of it. Because once you discipline your habits, your time, and your focus, life becomes simpler. You stop chasing everything that does not matter. You stop being pulled in 100 directions. You learn to say no with confidence and yes with clarity. You begin to experience the joy that comes from living intentionally, the joy of waking up with purpose, the joy of knowing that you are becoming who you were meant to be. That joy cannot be bought, borrowed, or faked. It is earned quietly through the daily act of discipline. So when the temptation to quit arises, and it will, Remember that the reward is not just in the result, but in the transformation. Discipline does not just change your life, it changes you. It shapes you into someone capable of handling the life you desire. Every day you practice discipline, you are not losing comfort, you are gaining strength. You are not giving up freedom, you are building it. And one day when you look back, you will realize that the discipline you once dreaded became the foundation of everything you ever wanted. There will be seasons in your life when you feel like everything is standing still. You will work, you will try, you will push forward, and yet the results will hide from you. It will seem as though your efforts are meaningless, as though your dreams are slipping further away with each passing day. This is the season of silence, and it visits everyone who dares to chase something greater than comfort. Most people cannot survive this silence. They crave noise, recognition, signs that their work is paying off. But growth does not make noise. Progress does not always announce itself. Sometimes the most powerful transformations happen in the unseen places, in the moments when you think nothing is happening at all. When life feels still, when everything inside you screams to quit, that is when the real battle begins. Because in that stillness you are being tested, not by the world, but by yourself. The question is simple: will you keep going even when you cannot see the reward? Most people stop because they confuse silence with failure. They think that if they cannot see progress, there must not be any. But silence is not the absence of progress, it is the preparation for it. Just as a seed must spend time in the darkness before it breaks through the soil, you too must endure your silent season before you rise. It is in these quiet stretches of life that your strength is being refined. The universe is shaping you in ways you cannot yet see. You are being taught patience, resilience, humility, the invisible virtues that sustain success once it arrives. If you are given what you want too early, you will not know how to hold it. That is why the delay exists. It is not punishment, it is protection. You are being prepared to handle the weight of your own potential. Every test, every silence, every closed door is molding you into the kind of person who can sustain what they are asking for. But in this waiting, there is a temptation that whispers in every mind. The temptation to give up, to start over, to believe that perhaps you are not meant for the thing you're chasing. That voice will sound reasonable. It will tell you that maybe it's time to settle, that perhaps the dream was too big. But that voice is not truth. It is fear disguised as logic. It is the part of you that cannot see beyond the moment. It does not understand that the silence you are facing now is not the end. It is the middle. And the middle is always the hardest part. The middle is where dreams die for those who quit and are reborn for those who continue. There is a sacred beauty in persistence, the kind of beauty that can only be seen by those who refuse to stop. Every time you continue despite doubt, you are building momentum that cannot be measured. You may not see it yet, but the energy of your consistency is accumulating. The world may not notice you today, but it cannot ignore you forever. The one who keeps going, who keeps showing up, who keeps believing eventually becomes unstoppable. It is not the loudest who win, but the most consistent. It is not the most talented who rise, but the most patient. Life rewards those who keep faith when faith feels foolish. You must learn to find peace in the process, to wake up each day and do what must be done, not because the world is watching, but because you made a promise to yourself. That is what integrity means, keeping the promise long after the emotion that made it has faded. Some days will feel like nothing changes, but you must remind yourself that each day of effort adds to the foundation you are building. The walls of your dream may not yet be visible, but the groundwork is being laid with every disciplined act, every sacrifice, every moment you choose to keep going. There will be people who do not understand your silence, who will tell you to take the easy route, to stop pushing so hard. They will not see the vision you hold, because it was never given to them. They will not feel the pull of your purpose because it was not placed in their hearts. Do not expect them to understand. This is your path, your test, your transformation. You were not chosen to have it easy. You were chosen to endure the silence and rise through it. Those who learn to work quietly build power that cannot be shaken by noise. The loud may rise fast, but they also fall fast. The patient rise slowly, but they rise permanently. In the silence, you must become your own encouragement. Speak life to yourself when no one else does. Tell yourself that progress is happening, even when your eyes cannot see it, because belief is not about sight. It is about trust. Trust that the universe, God, or whatever force you believe in is aligning things in ways that your human eyes cannot yet perceive. Every disappointment is redirecting you. Every delay is refining you. Every lonely night is strengthening you. You are not being ignored, you are being prepared. The silence is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It teaches you how to rely on yourself, how to walk without applause, how to believe without proof. It is stripping away everything temporary so that what remains is unshakable. You will come out of this season with a strength that no failure can destroy and a faith that no success can inflate. You will look back one day and realize that the silence you once cursed was the very thing that shaped your destiny. Do not rush through this season. Let it do its work. Let it refine your patience, sharpen your focus, and deepen your faith. The day will come when all that you have been waiting for begins to unfold, and when it does, you will not break under its weight. You will stand firm, calm, and steady, because you will know that you have already survived worse. The silence will end, but the strength it gave you will remain forever. So keep walking, keep believing, keep building when no one notices, keep showing up when no one thanks you. You may not see the light yet, but the dawn is closer than it seems. Every quiet step you take is moving you toward it. And one day, without warning, the silence will break, and everything you've been working for will rise with you. You will not be surprised, because you will know that it was never luck. It was patience, persistence, and the quiet power of never giving up.